Hey guys, Rob from AST here. So, I literally just filmed my last blog about why an assessment is important, and Christina, my great camera woman, said, but what do you do during an assessment? So of course, we have to do another blog. What is an assessment and what goes into it? Because these are great questions. And it's one that I actually feel like every time I speak to a new family who is interested in our services, I always go through. So, when I'm doing an assessment, I want to make sure that I do a couple of really key things. The first is going to be to interview parents and any other people who are really in tune with that child, with their day-to-day life. Parents are my most important one who I'm going to interview. I try and interview teachers and other supports in their lives, grandparents, siblings if appropriate, etc. I want to get a sense of what they see as the needs, what they see as areas of concern, and what kind of goals are really important to them. The next thing I want to do is I want to observe. Now, I like to observe a child in as many settings as possible. So when I do an assessment, I never just observe the child in home or in school, but I do a minimum of 2 settings. So generally, I'll do home and the park, or home and school. If I could do home, school, and somewhere in the community, best case scenario for me. Because I like to compare how is this child behaving in similar circumstances but in different environments. So how does this child play at home? How does this child play when at the park? And how does this child play at school? Making those comparisons really helps give me a better sense of what is contributing to these needs and what kind of strengths does this child have, because I want to look to see not just what areas of concern there are, but what strengths there are. I like to build programs where we can build on child's success, build on their strengths, capitalize on their interests, and use that as much of the program as the areas of need. The other thing I want to do is probably have parents or teachers or whomever I've interviewed take a little bit of data for me, give me a little bit more information. So we talk a lot about function, the different functions of behavior, and so I may have them take a little bit of what I call ABC data. It's either a checklist or a little summary sheet where we look at a specific behavior of concern, look to see what happens right before, the antecedent, the A. We define the behavior, the B, and then we look to see what happens right after the behavior, the consequence, or the C in my ABC chain. They give me that information, I look for that information while I'm observing as well, and then I go and analyze it. A third thing I may do is also go through what's called a developmental assessment. I may look at some standardized assessment tools to get a sense of how this child is functioning in relation to just typically developing peers or just other kids their age. I put all this together, I write it all up, I create a nice, clean, neat, formal report. Really important for me to do that because you can now take that report to an insurance company, to a school district, to some state funding entity, you name it, you could take it there, and maybe that could be the foundation of obtaining funding for services such as ABA. So that's an assessment in a nutshell. I hope this helps. I hope when I show up for my next assessment, you're one of the people out there who said, oh, I saw your video, I know exactly what to anticipate and what to expect. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.